I am here with four members of the state qualifying marching band: Senior Andy Priestley, Senior Zoe Sheen, Junior Joey Sinicki, and Senior Connor Reed. And thank you for talking to me today.
Of course.
Let's start with this. What got you guys interested in music and band? Andrew, we'll start with you.
Well, for me, what it was in 5th grade, they had the jazz band at the middle school come down to do some recruiting. And when I was sitting there watching them do that, I thought of this. I thought about my dad's trombone, which was down in the crawl space, because I'd been down in the crawl space earlier that week. And I was like, man, I'd love to play trombone. And that it got me in, and I've basically stayed ever since, and it's just never really been a question. I'm in the band.
That is actually a really cool story. Zoe, how about you?
I actually had one of my old babysitters. She played flute in the marching band, and she's one of the state finalists anyway up there. But she actually gave me her old flute right before she left for college and her mission. So
Very cool.
I just played it ever since.
Joey?
Well, my dad was the music teacher at Garnet Mesa for 18 years, and growing up I was just kind of around all that music stuff, even though I started with plastic instruments. I actually lost one of my teeth, my first tooth, playing a plastic clarinet, and my dad was a master's in music, and I just kind of fell in love with it. In 6th grade I decided to give it a try, and I had a natural talent for it, so I stuck with it.
Cool. Very cool. Connor?
For me, it all started when I was in middle school. In 7th grade, we found my grandfather's really old trombone, almost like 60 years old, and it was like in a great condition. I still play it today. And we learned that in my middle school, which was special, we had a really small class. Band was going to have an opportunity to help teach our kids, and so I was kind of first in line, and I just kind of played ever since, and I really loved it.
Yeah, it's funny how, you're all kind of inspired by family or close friends, but once you kind of get into that and it gets into your blood, so to speak, it's hard to get away from it. And playing instruments is one of those things that you can take with you through the rest of your life. Andrew, you're the drum major for the marching band. Explain to people that may not know what that means.
So when you're the drum major, and at Delta, it's kind of a special thing because we're one of the only one of few schools left these days that has just a solo drum major. And another thing that's really unique about it is that there's nothing about conducting before you go in. And what the drum major does is they conduct the band, whatever they're doing at the shows and all that. And I never had to do a conducting audition or anything like that. But when I went to this academy where they teach how to be a drum major, when I started talking to these other people, they had a partner drum major, or they had 2 other drum majors. They had to do a conducting audition and everything. But here it's about having a connection with the program and a connection with the people in it. It's about being able to be a leader. That's what the main criteria is for signing on to be the drum major. Is you've got to be able to lead the band, and you've got to know your weaknesses, know your flaws, and and Johnson kind of makes that decision. He decides who's ready for it and who he can afford to pull out of the band.
So you, in all essence, are like the team captain.
Yeah.
For the band, and you lead them when you guys are marching out on the field and in those performances. And speaking of performances, you guys march at halftime, perform at halftime of the football games. You perform obviously in competitions as well. We just got done with the state competition, which I'll talk about that here in just a bit. But how do you guys prepare, Zoe, for marching and those competitions?
So we start with a pretty much week-long band camp in the beginning of August. And it usually goes from 8 o'clock in the morning to about 3 or 4 in the afternoon. And And so that's when we teach most of the fundamentals, and it's like any sport, the fundamentals are the most important part of anything. And this year our drum major and both of our directors had a special attention on fundamentals the entire season, and it really paid off. And then we also have practices every Monday night, and then Saturdays we had 5 Saturday rehearsals?
Yeah, 4 or 5.
4 or
something.
5 Saturday rehearsals that were from 8 to noon, where we would just work on marching all day.
Joey, so how is performing at halftime of the football game different from the competitions you guys compete in? Obviously, you competed at regionals before going to state, so there's those 2 competitions, and you guys have other competitions across the western slope of the state as well throughout the year. But how is it different performing at halftime of a football game compared to a competition?
Well, halftime at football games, we know we're supposed to go out there and do our job on the field, and just give us the home crowd a good show. Which the football team recent years has been very successful, and the band halftime shows has kind of been squeezed in there. But this year, especially, it kind of brought out a new area for interest in the Panther fans, and that was pretty cool to watch. But Panther halftime shows are usually a bit more relaxed for the band themselves, because what people don't know is that band, I play 3 other sports: golf, baseball, and basketball, and baseball and basketball especially are very competitive. But marching band is the most competitive sport I play, because it is a sport that is judged based off of no rubric. It's based off how much one person likes the show or doesn't like the show. So competitions are a little bit nerve-wracking, because you don't know what the judge is going to think of what you've done for the past 3 months and how hard you've worked for it. They don't care about how hard you've worked for it. They care about how you put it on the field. So it's just kind of a one opportunity chance at our competitions, especially regionals, because regionals you have one shot to get yourself into the top 8 in the state.
Which you guys did, and Connor, talk a little bit about that. Obviously, you guys worked really hard this year to get into that position, get and qualify for state. Talk a little bit about that and how special it was.
Well, as a senior for me, it's probably the most special year as for me and everyone else here, because we've been trying it for almost 3 years, since 2021, and almost every time we were like right at the cusp of it, almost about to grab that, and we just fell short by a couple of points. And so it's a really special thing to become like state qualifiers, even if it's 4th place, but it's just like a goal that we've set ever since the start. And we finally got it. It was a great day, and when I heard that information, even though it was cold that night, I still was extremely excited for our band, and I was just beyond happy for them.
So you say even if it was 4th in the state, that's quite a feat, really. 4th out of however the 4th best marching band in the state in your classification. And that's really something to be proud of. Andrew, as the drum major, when you found out you qualified for state, what was going through your mind?
Well, because what they do is every competition they have a drum major retreat at the end, and that's where they do all the awards. And so I get marched out with all the other drum majors, and you're standing there on the field, and you're looking up at the crowd and everything, and you just everything is pounding through you at the same time, and you're thinking, did I do good enough? Was this good enough? Did I, when I messed up here, are we gonna make it? And all of that is just rushing through your head. And when you hear 2nd place, or when, at regionals, when you hear 2nd place, it's a rush, but you also know you can't let that go to your head, and you've got to wait to save your excitement and your best smile and everything for when they call 1st place and they say the Delta High School Panther Pride Marching Band, and you just what was going through my head in that moment was, there we go. That's what I wanted from these guys. That's what I wanted them to get, and boy did they. They did an awesome job.
Zoe, how much has Andrew meant to the band as drum major, pushing you guys and just kind of being your guys' leader?
I mean, he's meant a lot. He's done a really great job. In the past, we've had drum majors that have been very hands-off with the band, that have kind of like sat in the band room during practices and not really, connected with us. But Andrew made sure that he was connected with us every step of the way, even if he had to be the bad guy sometimes, which there were times he did have to be the bad guy. But we still made sure to kind of rally around him, especially as section leaders.
And that's a sign of a good leader is you can be the good guy, and it's easy to be the good guy, but when it's time to be the bad guy, you can be the bad guy too, and do what you have to do. Now we'll go around the table and just kind of talk about what you guys have for your future plans, since the three of you were seniors, and we'll talk to you, Joey, about what you're looking forward to on the horizon as well. Andrew, plans after high school, do they include music?
Yeah, they do. The first thing I'm planning on doing out of high school is I'm going to go on a mission with my church, because that's something that's also really important in my life. But once I get home, I'm planning on going to college, and I plan on doing college marching band, and I want to keep going with it, because one thing I've learned this year is that it's kind of affirmed me that yes, I am good enough. This band is good enough. Everyone here is good enough. We are better than just good for Delta. We're good in the state. We are good compared to everybody else. And it's something that really kind of has upped my confidence in being able to go into those college music programs and be able to be, I guess, a force to be reckoned with, and to be able to fight for those leadership spots.
Very good. Zoe, how about you?
I'm kind of in the same boat as Andrew. I'll go on a mission for our same church. We go to the same church. And then after that, I'll probably go to school for teaching. And I've thought about helping out with marching band if I end up teaching. And then I'll probably bring my instrument with me on my mission so that I can play it still.
Very cool.
Don't forget it.
Very cool. We'll skip over Joey for a second and go to Connor, since you're the third senior in this group here. Future plans?
I'm planning on going to college pretty much right after school ends, so in the fall season next year. I've chosen a music path as well. I'm wanting to either major in instrumental performance or anything to do with composing. I'm looking at colleges right now, and I'm looking at majors and what I can do, and hopefully have have enough financial stability to get through all that and get a music job in music. And I'm just super excited when I do go into college to try out for all the bands and join a couple of them, hopefully, and just have a fun time playing music.
Good. Joey, you're a junior, so you obviously have one more year of school. Are you looking at colleges yet, or what are you looking for in the future?
I'm not necessarily looking at certain colleges just yet. I like to keep that pretty open because there's still a lot left of my junior year, not to mention I have to take the SAT, which can depend on what colleges I can go to. My dad went into college, like I said, as a music major, and he's got his master's in it. I think I'm looking for that to be more of a minor. It's something I'd like to have a backbone on. I'm looking more into a business education, but music is still something that I like to keep with me. And music is a great way to get your way around the world because it does motivate so many people.
Oh, good. Well, I appreciate you guys talking to me today, and good luck to all of you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
This video is a production of Mad Cantor Productions and sponsored by Delta Ace Hardware, Delta Cabinet Company, Delta County School District, Delta Health, Dowdy Steel and Machine, Hellman Motor Company, Jerry Ryers State Farm Insurance, 9 Stories Creative, The Sunflower Room, and Taco Time. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, as it helps me with my coverage of the Delta Panther.